Hello, art friends! Today we're going to make a symmetrical butterfly. This week we're going to make it. Next week we are going to have to paint it. Yay! So let's see how many we can make today. This one I just finished, so it needs to go on the drying rack to dry. So he's going to go fly over there. We are going to have a blank piece of paper. And we are going to fold it in half. So hamburger, not hot dog. This would be hot dog. We're going to fold it in half, hamburger. And we want to make sure that's a nice, good fold. It's okay if it's not perfect, but we want to be able to fold this back and forth over and over again. So we want to make sure that it is folded. Now, I want you to, before you begin, you're going to use your pencil. So get your pencil ready. I want you to put your name and class code on the back of every single paper. If you make multiples of these, you need to continue doing this to make sure that when it comes off the drying rack, that it is yours. Once you have that, I want you to open up your paper. You should see that folded line in the middle, and give me a thumb up. So our image is symmetrical, which means it's the same on one side as the other, the exact same, because the process we are going to be doing is called printing. So we are going to fold this and print it. So we're going to paint on one side, and then the other side is going to show up. This is a symmetrical design. A lot of things in nature have symmetry. I am going to be using the shape of a heart to help me draw the wings. And I'm going to show you how to do that. If you are at home, I will show you. You're just going to have to draw your own heart, unless you have a heart tracer or something to trace that's a heart shape. But I'm going to show you how you can turn a heart into some wings. So I have my heart, and I'm going to start at the bottom, and it's not completely touching the bottom, but it's at that folded line. Do you see how the heart is at the folded line? Kind of hard to see on my projector, but you can see it on your paper. So I'm going to trace the heart first. Okay, there's the heart on the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing to the top. I'm going to trace the heart next to it. So I just took it and I just twisted it up. It's not overlapping. It's kind of sitting right on that other heart line. And I'm going to trace that heart too. We're going to do one more thing before we stop. So give me a thumb up when you have two hearts. And hold on to that pencil, because we're going to add a couple more things before we get started with painting. Now that your hearts are traced, what we're going to do is we're going to end this at a point, because it could look, you could trace it like this. You can make a butterfly wing with the two hearts, but if you really want it to look like a butterfly wing, what we're going to do is we're going to extend these lines at a point. So I'm going to kind of make a point that's floating above the heart, and I'm going to extend from the curve. I'm going to make one line go this way and one line go this way. Doesn't have to be perfect. You'll see how it looks like there's a triangle. I'm going to do the same to the other side. It's going to be a really cool design if you leave that and you want to trace it, or you can choose to just draw the outline. So that's going to be that perfect butterfly shape. I'm going to pause right here just to make sure everybody did that. I'm going to trace mine again and show you. See how the heart, where it curves, you're just going to make a straight line on one side, curve, straight line on the other side, and it's going to come to a point. Same to the other side. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. We are also going to have some circles in here, and we can do that when we're done. I'm going to show you, but first we're going to do one part at a time so it doesn't dry. So I'm using some tempera paint. If you are at home, you can use tempera paint. You can use watercolor. Really, any paint's going to work. Just make sure that it doesn't dry too fast. So here's my paint, and I'm going to dip my paintbrush in the paint, getting a nice amount, and I'm going to trace all of the lines. If you don't want to do the heart line, I'll show you what it looks like with just those lines. See how it looks like a butterfly wing? Just like that. So, you can always try it and see what you like, and you always go back. You can't ever take away. Maybe I'll make a little bit more of a point. So remember, we're going this quick, quick, quick. So now that it's dry, I'm going to take it and I'm going to close it and I have to leave it, don't pick it up. If you closed it differently, you're gonna have to just live with that and just rub it. I'm gonna rub it because I'm printing it. And remember, when we print something, we put something down and pick it back up. Something is left behind. It is called a print. Now, it is not perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to trace over these lines, and I'm just going to go over them one more time to make them darker. So you can go ahead and do that now. And then what you can always do is, I could just, to make it more even again, I'm going to close it and rub it again. And then I open it back up, and then there's my beautiful design. If you want to go back and add these little bumps on the side of the butterfly, you can do that. I'm going to do that now. And then that'll give me enough time for those students that are still working on that. We're going to fill in some dots. So there's the little points. I just trace them. I can close it, rub it one more time, open it back up, and there's the design on the other side. And I can just go ahead and trace it. Give me a thumb up when you're all caught up. If you're waiting, you can just go ahead and kind of fill in some lines. Okay, now I'm going to add some dots. Now remember, only do it to one side. I'm going to make circles, and they don't have to be perfect circles because nature isn't perfect. So I'm going to make some circles that are on my butterfly. Maybe you have a specific butterfly that you would like to do, then you can do those lines. Like monarch butterflies have a lot of lines. Other butterflies have circles. Some are really simple. Some are a little bit more complicated, so it's up to you. We're going to make a circle, or just make whatever design you want on one side. There's two circles. I'm going to do the same to the bottom. Remember, I'm doing this pretty quick, so I don't want it to dry. So then I take it and I close it back up. I give it a nice little rub on the top and the bottom. I open it back up, and there's my circles on the other side. Now it did smush it a little bit, so that means I added a little bit too much paint, but I can just go over them again. And you can make multiple butterflies and see which one you like that turned out the best, and we'll be able to paint them next week. Okay, so I do have some space here that I can do some fun things. You don't have to do circles. Maybe you want to just do some lines. Maybe you want to get fancy and create your own species of butterfly. Totally up to you, but we're just doing the black lines today. So then I did that. I open it back up, and there are my lines. Now those lines are pretty much just guiding lines, because they will help you to just make your lines again. Now, what's one thing that my butterfly is missing? He's missing the body. Now, I'd save this for last because I already had a lot of paint in the middle, and I don't want to get too much paint in the middle. So we save the body for last. So I just make a line on the top for his head, make a line at the bottom for the bottom of his tail, and then I'm just going to do one antenna, just one. So I'm just going to go bloop and just do one because I want the other one to be the same. I close it up, I rub the body as well and get the antenna, and then open it back up, and there's my butterfly. And I might want to go back and trace that other antenna. But again, it's just a guiding line. But now I can really see how it's starting to look like a butterfly. There may be some things I need to go back into and fix. But that's pretty much it for our butterfly. When it's done, it goes on the drying rack. We will be cutting it out, and we will be coloring. We will be painting it. If you're at home, you can color or paint it. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can make as many butterflies as you want, and maybe even try to do another species of insect. Maybe you can make something completely different. Totally up to you. You can experiment with your symmetrical designs.